Are you feeling out of balance and you can't pinpoint why? Then this is an incredible opportunity for you to dive deep into the energy centers in our human design. The energy centers in our human design are really what makes our heart tick, quite literally. So every energy center is connected not only to something mystical, but really holds the key to unlock the power of our mental and spiritual well-being. Within this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly what the energy centers are, what they stand for, how they look like, and we're going to dive into each of the energy centers so that you can understand the core concept that they represent, and so that you can connect and understand yourself better and how these energy centers show up in your own body graph. So let's get into this incredibly fascinating world of the energy centers in your human design. The energy centers that we can find in our body graph are representative of these triangles, squares, rectangles that are connected to certain aspects of our life and our body, and are going to help us understand how we function best. So usually we can assess kind of 7 energy centers, which is what we know from yoga, which are like those 7 energy centers that go up in like different colors. But in human design, there has been a shift of consciousness in 1781, where we're really moving into more conscious, more emotional kind of human being and connection, and therefore we have 2 new awareness centers. So in total, in the human design body graph, we can discover 9 energy centers, and we're going to look at each and every one of them so that you can identify them in your body graph and understand what they represent, what they mean, and what you can learn from each and every one of them. These energy centers are the way that we take in energy or the way that we create energy. And depending if the energy center is open, which is what we call open and undefined, where there is no color, versus if they are defined, that means they have color, that's where you're going to be energetically dominant. But today we're going to go through the 9 energy centers one by one, and I always like to start from the bottom. So I always start looking at the body graph from the bottom up, because I believe that this is where the root, the base, and this is where the Kundalini energy goes up. So it is, for me, the most logical place to start building the information that we can receive from our body chart. Let's talk about the root center. So the root center is that square that you're going to see at the bottom of the body graph, and this is all about stress and adrenaline and knowing how to deal with that internal anxiety. And this energy center is connected to your adrenal gland. So if you have a burnout, if you have adrenal fatigue, these are all things from pushing this energy center to its limits. And so approximately we're gonna see that around 68% of the population has a defined root center, and 32% of the rest of the population will have an open root center. And therefore, it's really important to understand that this is one of the pressure points of the body graph, and is really related to just like how we deal with intensity, with force. And this is a motor center. So this means it carries a certain energy, it carries a certain potency within it, and it's connected to 3 of the other energy centers, which is the solar plexus, the sacral, and the spleen energy center. And so within all of these, we can find 3 gates that are connecting to each of these centers. So it really creates this beautiful, growing energy that moves upwards. And therefore, I really like starting with the root, because it is the base from which we start building up our energetic flow. The next energy center is the solar plexus energy center, and this is a motor center, but it is also an awareness center. This is the energy center that allows us to connect to our emotions, to our feelings, and the one that has created really empathy. So in 1781, there was a huge change in history, and we went from being 7-centered energy type humans to 9-center energy type humans. And this awareness center, this solar plexus, has been one of the things that has contributed the most to us becoming humans that really have a much more feeling-based connection with each other. And so this energy center is also what will represent your authority if you have an emotional authority. And within this solar plexus, we will notice that around 53% of the population has this energy center defined, meaning that it has dominance and you have this emotional authority and this emotional dominance that really makes people feel. And the other 37% of the population has an open solar plexus, meaning that they are going to be highly empathetic and taking that energy in. And so within the center, it is just interesting to recognize that it really has this incredible force to connect to our emotions, to sense and feel things, and it has the capacity to connect to the throat center, to the ego center, to the sacral center, and the root center. And this is also, we will find the 4 emotional ways that are going to dictate how your emotional authority expresses itself. Now we're going to move to the energy center that is the sacral energy center. This is the square that you will find in the lower part of the body graph, and we can visualize it at the height of your belly button. This energy center is connected to desire, creativity, and it's really pure life force. Only generators and manifesting generators will have this energy center defined. Approximately, that is around 66% of everybody, and around 34% of the rest of the population will have that energy center open. And so this is a very intense energy center that is connected to our sexual organs and to our digestive system. And it is really here to help us understand and connect to our true desires. This is where really life force is born, and is that generative force that just drives us forward to want to expand and create life and beyond. We have this energy center quite in the middle of our body graph, and it is connected to our personality center. It connects to our spleen and to our solar plexus, but it also connects to our root. So it really has this incredible enveloping energetics that allows it to express with intensity into all different directions of our body graph. The energy center that we're going to look at next is the energy center of the spleen. And this is, for example, what is my authority. This energy center is all about intuition, instinct, and fear. So this is a very primal energy. It is very correlated with the information. It has this vast, expensive curriculum of all of the things of our ancestors that has kept us alive right now, and this is what it's informing us with. And so to understand this energy center, it is really that this energy center connects to the throat, it connects to our personality center, it connects to our sacral center, and it also connects to our root. So again, all of these places are places from which we are informed around our fears. We are able to connect to our instinct and our intuition, and it is the driving force that allows us to feel safe. And it is correlated with our immune system, and even the T cells are said to be living within this energy center. Let's look at the smallest energy center of our body graph, which is the ego. And the ego in human design is nothing negative. It stands for ambition, willpower, and all things material. So this energy center is very small but very potent. It is also a motor that is a driving force. It is connected to our self-worth and the things that we value and how we value ourselves. And so this energy center, actually, it is placed where the heart is. So it is connected to the heart, and pushing this center too much can cause problems with our heart, but it is actually also connected to our digestive system. So we can also find irregular digestive issues if we're moving from a place that is in misalignment of our heart. And so this is an energy center that connects to competition, to comparison, and all of those kind of things that we use to move through this material plane. And this energy center is around 70% of the population who have it open, undefined, and only a very rare 30% of those people have a defined ego. That's me. And so this energy center connects to the throat, it connects to our personality center, and it connects to our solar plexus. So it is really beautiful to see how these different energy centers are moved and informed by that motor and that driving force that comes from our beating hearts. Interestingly enough, it also connects to our spleen. So there is this direct connotation of how survival and the material world are connected, and our driving forces for us to feel safe and to move within this like construct of economic security from a space that is driven by the things that feel good to us and the things that our heart tells us are good for us. So it is an interesting perspective to reframe how the material world works for us as humans through the energy center of the ego. The personality center, or the G center, which is this kind of diamond-shaped energy center that you will find in the middle of your chest, is the most magical and mysterious of all energy types. This one is connected to the blood and to the liver, and in ancient times it was said that our soul was reborn in the liver. And so here we have actually the connection with the divine, the connection with our soul. This is where our driving force lies. This is where we magnetize and we attract the beautiful things into our life. So this energy center is very potent, and it's the one that's here to give us direction in life, and it's the one that really allows us to establish how we show up and what our personality is. The personality energy center is connected to our throat, so this is where we will feel that sense of needing to express who we are. It is connected to our ego, so it is informed by our heart's desires. It is informed and connected to our Sacal Centers, so we feel that desire that's like, pushing us up, and that life force that's wanting to connect with our soul. And it also connects to our spleen, so it's also connected to our survival. Who we are is connected to our capacity of being able to feel safe in this world. This energy center, you will find it 50% for those who have it defined and another 50% for those who are open. And there's actually this karmic connection, this karmic relationship between those that have a defined energy center and open personality center. And together they will find their way and their purpose, each in their individuality. Now let's talk about the energy center of the throat. And the energy center of the throat is very potent, because if we look at the whole design, we can see how the energy is like potently growing up, and everything is kind of held in by this energy center of the throat. So there's a law that has to be regulated by this very sensitive energy center. And only 30% of the population will have an open throat, and the other 70% of the population will have a defined throat. And so these are really people that are connecting to their voice. They're meant to express themselves. The voice is here to really be an expression of our manifestation. So that is what the voice really stands for. The energy center of the throat is that tool that allows us to connect to others, and it is connected to the Ajna, and it is connected to our personality center, but it is also connected to our instincts and our emotions. Why? Because when we feel that pressure, that energetic wave, we will notice that we're here to communicate our emotions. We're here to be able to connect to our fears, to warn others, or to protect ourselves with our voice. And it is also related to the energy that is in our mind, because even though the mind is not from where we make decisions, it is a tool that is going to help us move through life using our logic, and sometimes the mind is fantastic. The energy center of the Ajna is here where our third eye is, and it's connected to our pituitary gland and our neocortex. And this is where we form our opinions. This is where we realize how we see the world. This is where we take in the information that our crown has conjured, and it really creates the way that we perceive life. It is kind of like the lens through which we're looking at. And so around 47% of the population has this energy center defined, and the rest has this energy center open. And this energy center is connected to the throat and can be connected to the crown. So it is a really essential part of our awareness, but it doesn't have a motor, so it doesn't have a force to move us along. It is really here to take in information, to become very wise, and it gives us the opportunity for all of us to have this individual expression of our consciousness reflected through the way that we take in information and the way that we observe what is happening around us in our life. Last but not least, let's look at the crown energy center. And the crown energy center is a little bit outside of our body, and it is connected to inspiration and ideas. And so this energy center is connected to the pineal gland. It is really here to inspire us, to enrich our way of thinking, to really highlight the way that we're processing information, to give us tools and access to the way that we take in what inspires us and digest life through this prism. It is our thoughts, our ideas, and so much more. And this energy center is also pressure center. Similarly to what we've been seeing in the body graph, that we have the root at the bottom, we have the same kind of pressure in the head. And it's always really important to understand that even though the mind is fantastic for so many things, it is not here for us to continuously believe what the mind has to tell us. So allow this to be a gift that you have and something that you carry and be aware of, and to really allow it to do what it's meant to be doing and not try to fulfill all of the other aspects that the rest of the body graph has available to you. So this energy center is very interesting, and it closes the cycle to understand exactly how we're moving through our body graph with these 9 energy centers and what each and every one represents. I hope you've enjoyed this overview on the energy centers, and be sure to look at other videos that will help you understand your energy type and your human design on a deeper level, because all of these things that we're learning are things that are able to flourish and bloom once we've really implemented our energetic authenticity that we can achieve through the strategy in our energy type. So those are the pillars that I recommend that you go watch, and for more information, subscribe to this channel, like this video so that the human design information can spread around the world and we can all align energetically. And I can't wait to see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any doubts that I'm super happy to clear up. And remember, I don't care what anybody says. I love you.